Yeah.
Always Dale.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I really.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this idiot podcast of Super Tuesday. It's all Tuesdays all day. That's what everybody tells me a lot going on. Astrology and bullshit like that. It's going to be great. But you know what? Here on the Diz Idiots, we're the idiots, so you don't have to be. Today we'll be covering Disney launching some residential communities. The Cosmic Rewind has an opening day. Price increases. Who's surprised? Galactic Star Cruiser news. And more from the Diz Idiots podcast. So, everybody say hi.
What's up, party people?
That's Bruce.
Cheers! It's Tuesday night.
That's night. Some hard
Deuces for Tuesday, baby.
So you know what? It's great. It's a great day. And you know what? We teased it. We're just going to talk about it right off the bat. Ryan. Well, what are your thoughts on this Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
He's telling what the internet all thought.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Admit it. It's okay. You're among company here, and a lot of our listeners, I'm sure, feel the same.
So, okay.
The hell is that?
CGI makeover? No. Like one or the other. You don't do 2D and one 3D. You just pick and choose. Pick and choose. Pick and choose. Don't do this whole like half and half where we're gonna use an excuse to bring back Roger Rabbit and everyone's 2D, but one of them is actually CGI'd.
You've left me behind because you got the CGI surgery, which, by the way, now they're calling it a teaser trailer.
I'll say this much. While I was watching the entire trailer, I was rolling my eyes at every scene. I'm like, there was a couple of moments where I was like, okay, that's cute. But this is like, I don't know. I feel like this is Disney's cash grab for Disney. I'll put it to you this way. There was this little meme that I saw on Facebook the other day that I thought was really hysterical, where it was the Disney logo and it was like subscription for like $70 a year, like the Disney Plus logo, $70 a year. And it says what Disney thinks I'm paying Disney Plus for, what I'm actually paying for, and then it's the logo and it says like Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, like it's all these like Star Wars shows. And I feel like, all right, see, there you go. Like,
what they just announced with another Star Wars, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you have something that's not, I feel like the Simpsons did a bit on this. Krusty the Clown on 3 times a day. Because here on Channel 6, we got nothing else. That's what I feel like. Here's Star Wars and Marvel. Because here on Disney Plus, we got nothing else. Well, here's occasionally a Pixar movie.
And see, with this Chip and Dale thing, I feel like this is their way of trying to bring the Disneyverse. I don't know, kind of like, even they say it in the trailer, it's like, it's not a reboot, it's a, like, it's, what do they even call it? Like a
But how is it a continuation when the show never broke the fourth wall?
Here's the other problem I have with
clearly fourth wall breaking.
And the real big problem I have with this is that Chip and Dale do not sound like Chip and Dale.
Well, that's exactly. And listen, and I'm not taking away anything from Mulaney and Sandberg. I don't want people to think like I'm anti either of them because they're fantastic at what they do, and I'm glad they exist. But like exactly, when we have a Chip and Dale that exists and they sound nothing like they do in the original.
Yeah.
Well, now you could say, oh well, when we're on screen in our show Rescue Rangers, we are dubbed. There's a voice thing over, so we sound different. You can go that. This does feel, but you're absolutely right, Brian. I was actually want to talk about that. This feels like they're setting up their own
Disneyverse.
This
like,
is the Disney cinematic universe. We're gonna have all of our stuff. Here's because we see in the trailer, you clearly see Scrooge. I almost called him Donald for a second. Forgive me, Dozer. Yeah. We see Scrooge in a pile of coins. It definitely seems like they want to have, well, here's us on our shows. I think they're trying to go for something a little more teenager and gritty. The problem is, I think they're going about it in the wrong way. Their audience, I think they realize, is older, possibly, if it's a continuation. Because is Rescue Rangers on there, mind you? I haven't looked.
It is.
Okay, I thought so. I was positive. But it just feels like they're trying to do something this feels like an experiment that they're either going to go, by the way, we're kidding, or they're going to go, it's a hit. We were planning this all along.
So what we said last week, and it still fits in with the universe concept, because in reality, it was the first shared universe. It's a backdoor sequel to Roger Rabbit.
Was it always a backdoor sequel to Roger Rabbit?
Absolutely not.
No, but the fact that literally, when they reference Roger Rabbit in there with humans and animation, it just feels like they're referencing him specifically for the subliminal. Oh, that's right. This is like Who Framed. When you see it, you're gonna go, this is like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but you know, nowhere near as good because and we talk about that. Here's a question for you guys. They always say it. Can lightning strike twice?
It can. I know people who've been struck by lightning twice. Literally.
No. I know literally, but like for this, Roger Rabbit was a hit. Could this possibly be a surprise hit in the making? And the teaser trailer was garbage.
Honestly, I don't think it can, because with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I stand by this, you'll never see anything like that ever again, because you had two big blockbuster. You had Warner Bros. And Disney team up for Touchstone Pictures. You had all the cartoons together.
And I am going to steal some wrestling terminology here, if somehow the forbidden door is open, and you do get a Looney Tune or a Minion even, it could be big.
First off, one I could see happening. The Minion ain't happening. The mascot of Illumination going through the forbidden door ain't happening. But I agree. But I think this is more Disney's way of saying we can't do those, but we can do our own universe with our own characters.
All right. So let me ask you this then. Let's say this is the beginning of the what do you want to call it? The Saturday morning cartoon universe. You know, the 90s nostalgia verse.
Technically, no. This would be the second entry. DuckTales 2017 is the start of it.
I think what Brian's trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, is this their own foray into this Disney afternoon universe where the shows existed as shows, but they also exist as where we have our own fans. And no, that's the show. Darkwing Duck exists as people coming to him to solve crimes and goes, guys, I'm an actor. I don't actually do that.
Wait a moment. If we're going under that logic, that means in the 2017 DuckTales, Darkwing was a dude playing a dude inside a show. He's gone full Robert Downey Jr.
Thank you. I just started like, yes, say it. Say what we all want you to say right now.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude
who thinks he's the other dude. Tropic Thunder.
Because they did that already. Darkwing was a show in DuckTales.
Yes. I'm just saying, I'm curious how this is going to go. But that DuckTales could be one of those, that could be a meta reference. Who knows how they want to handle that? This could say, okay, that DuckTales is its own separate reboot universe.
Chip and Dale are in there.
Yeah. Well, that could be its own separate universe. This could be its universe continuing directly from the Disney Afternoon universe. Like, listen, they could do a lot of adult things. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be fun to see the Gummy Bears as a bunch of like addicts in a bunch of like Gummy Juice Anonymous kind of thing?
I'm going to give this, if we're going full send, Roger Rabbit reboot, but Disney Saturday morning cartoons, give me the gummy bears as the weasels. It makes 0 sense, and I absolutely want it.
Yes.
Wait, gummy
Yes!
bears and gummy
Bob,
bears and who?
Bob, listen to the man. He makes
And
sense.
the weasels.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But think about it. If the weasels, stop that laughing. You'll die if you laugh. Think about that. Yeah, stop that with the gummy bear juice. Yeah, the little one down. Don't you remember? You'll die if you drink too much of the gummy bear juice.
Yeah, I'm not.
I realize I'm nothing like Squiggy. I'm aware of that.
I will give it its shot. Luckily, it's a movie and not a show.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask: is this a movie or is this a TV?
Just a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay, so that's good. Here's my take on this. I agree with you, Dozer. I will give it a shot, but so help me God, I will turn it off if it pisses me off. It's like the Home Alone that they did on Disney Plus. The Home Alone.
Never
Home
even
Away.
tried it. I'm not a Home Alone fan. The Home Away from Home Alone. I think
We
is what they call
discussed it. It's horrible. It's not. The villains are really the good guys, but they're the villains. But it's
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not the only person that saw this. A friend of mine was like, "Oh no, you have to go past that. It gets really funny." Buzz makes a cameo. He's on the phone with Kevin McAllister. I'm like, but that has nothing to do with this story. Like, they basically took something that was lightning in a bottle, and then decided to like revamp it and make it.
They took something that was lightning in a bottle. They've already bastardized Home Alone before Disney ever got their balls on it.
Well, that's Fox too. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't matter, because if you want something Home Alone-esque, you watch Better Watch Out. It's a horror movie. This is not for kids. But if you've never seen Better Watch Out is the shit. It is good.
That's probably one of my favorite horror movies.
Oh, it's so delightfully good. It really is.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm going to give it a listen. Always. Everyone. Doesn't matter what reviews say or other people say, you should always check things out for yourself. I'm a big believer in that. I do that when I go to theater shows. I always believe. Listen, if there's a source you trust, you trust your friends. If Dozer and Brian tell me something, I know when I'm gonna trust their opinion because they know me. But always give it a shot for yourself. For this, I have an open mind, but I have no problem turning it off after 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'll watch the whole thing if my daughter will let me, so. We'll see. I'm a huge Chip and Dale fan, though.
Oh, come on. What's that to love about Chip and Dale?
I don't know.
Which one's your favorite, Chip or Dale?
That's a joke, right?
Dale.
You realize who you're talking to. Dale. Hundo. Dale. Dale, I think who's voicing who?
But
noise.
I was all about Baloo from Tailspin.
Yes. They brought Tailspin into the DuckTales universe. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, so if this is a success, are we gonna see a live action? Or how would you even would this be considered live action Chip and Dale? Like,
it's whatever they considered Roger Rabbit. This is what that's would be.
Yes.
So, do you see them doing possibly like I was asking her, like, do you foresee them doing something like Darkwing Duck or Tailspin, like in this vibe?
I think depends on this is a success. Continue.
I was gonna say. The one that I wouldn't mind seeing, if this is a hit, let's say we watch it and go, holy crap, was this something that Disney kept that was like an ace up their sleeve? I want to see a Goofy movie. Or like,
see, you know what I already have one. I already have the perfect one. It's a series. It's not a movie. It's a series. It's waiting here. Bonkers.
Oh.
Bonkers leaves the show, becomes a cop. Done. You're welcome. You're welcome, Disney.
Oh, that would sell.
Sell in a heartbeat. Now, listen, I would love a Goofy thing. I'm with the Disney Afternoon. I'm here for any of it. If they're doing it right, I'm here for it. Bonkers as a cop in the real world with people interacting, that kind of thing. You're welcome.
No.
I'm aware it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets Happy Time Murders in its own way, but you're welcome, Disney.
But you know what though, Bonkers would work though, because that is a name that's deep cut. That's our generation that we grew up watching, and it would have. And you know what's funny? You know what? I think they would take a recipe from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but make it their own, because you could seriously do like a Beverly Hills Cop with Bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
You can
make
do
this work.
You can do like a Lethal Weapon with Bonkers. Like you don't. It doesn't have
don't come on! Don't tempt me with Lethal Weapon. Like come on.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you can take the detective cop like 1930s Who Framed Roger Rabbit crime like LA noir, and then make it a modern like buddy cop show.
We can do that with Lethal Weapon and Bonkers as long as Darkwing and Die Hard get their day.
Yes. Absolutely.
I was going to make the buddy cop Bruce Willis.
Yo!
Yes!
Yo, that's it!
Absolutely! I just scared my dog. Yes! Absolutely, buddy! Yes!
Bruce Willis gets a partner and it's fucking Bonkers. Oh my god!
You can purely see him sitting there just going, I'm too old for this shit.
Since we're doing this, can Danny Glover be the police commissioner at least?
Wait, time out. Who distributed Die Hard? Was that 20th Century?
I think so. I don't know.
Is Die Hard a Disney movie?
Dude,
if
Die Hard was distributed by 20th Century Fox, we may have something here.
I'm on it. Hold on. Distributed by 20th Century Fox.
You heard it here, folks. For the first time, Die Hard is a Disney movie.
And I think we're all thinking the same thing here. Yippee-ki-yay, mother!
And that's where Bonkers comes in. He's like, "Yo!"
Then at least can the other cop in this buddy here? Can the other cop be just Sergeant Al Powell? What's Val Johnson doing these days?
So it sounds like our movie's Die Hard with Bonkers.
And the problem is
the whole concept. It's actually
a buddy cop with Bruce Willis and Bonkers. The people would be going gaga.
You are talking to a guy who's been pushing for the Muppets Les Mis with just Hugh Jackman as the sole human actor.
I'll answer that. I will answer that in just about a month.
I would actually sit through that Les Mis with the Muppets.
I don't know yet. Give me a month. On March 26th, I finally take my Paris the Music Man. I will judge Hugh Jackman on that day.
I am jealous because, all right, so...
My friend, despite the reviews, my friend just went and absolutely loved it. I'm so excited.
How much are tickets? Because I want to kind of treat Liz.
How many appendages do you have to sell?
Well, actually, honestly, in the men's, if you're especially towards the sides of the winner, it's not bad, but you got to buy in advance. I've had these tickets for years because Scott Rudin wouldn't relinquish my money.
I'm fairly certain these tickets predate COVID.
Not fairly certain. I bought them after Horror Nights one year. Because I was at Horror Nights. We were at Finnegan's.
So Liz has been reading Sutton Foster's 2 books that she released.
Oh.
And wait, the one book. So I knew Sutton Foster from Broadway, but we've been watching this show that was on TV Land called Younger.
Yeah, she's a star.
Oh my God!
Her and Michael Urie.
We are binging the shit out of this show because 2 reasons. One, Liz loves Sutton Foster, and the two of it, watching Sutton Foster act and looking at my wife, I'm like, you two are one and the same. Holy
I was
shit.
actually about to say they kind of look alike.
They're very scary. I mean, their similarities are both.
Oh my God, they actually are Oh my God, are they sisters?
No, they're not sisters.
Are
I
you
wish.
sure? Because I'm just saying. I know her last. I know she's not a Foster, but like.
Yeah, but anyway, so we've been binging it because they're half an hour long and you can knock through them that way. But I'm like, oh my god, I love Sutton Foster now. Like I really, really love. Like I knew she was a talented performer on stage, but like as an actress, I was like, we started watching this other show about like girls in ballet school or something like that, and I'm like, it's from the. I think it's what's that?
Suspiria.
Yeah, Bunheads. That's it. Bunheads. It's the same people that did Gilmore Girls and all those.
Amy Sherman Palladino.
Yeah, so we're watching.
That woman.
It was only one. It only lasted one season. We got like halfway through, and I'm like, this show's stupid. There's nowhere to go with this show. I don't understand what's going on here. These little girls. I don't. It's not funny. What is happening in this show?
Because Amy Sherman Palladino has a problem, and it's her.
And I'm actually scared to watch the new season of Miss Maisel because I really like that show, and like
I just started it today, and I have one big problem with it already. And guess what? Guess what the problem is? The creator, Amy Sherman Palladino, is pulling late stage Gilmore Girls on us. Wait a minute. I don't have to make my lead character have development. I create the show, so I am goddess.
So and I had that feeling because the trailers they were showing for this new season is not just Miss Maisel, but it's all the characters in the show now.
More than the other. I actually hope they concentrate it. It's just what they do. I've only watched like 20 minutes of it, but the first episode, what they do with Midge, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like Lorelai all over again.
Well, yes, that's her thing. But I'm gonna take this train. I'm gonna bring it back on track a bit now.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sorry about that. I derailed this again. No one's surprised. Our listeners like, yeah, Bruce, we know.
Because we have news.
Yeah, we do.
We got.
First off, we have news I didn't know about. So if you don't mind, can we go right to Cosmic Rewind?
Oh, the fact that it has an opening date?
Yeah, did not know that. Continue.
It dropped about an hour ago at this point.
What's
this year?
Memorial Day? Knew it.
So
damn it. I'm going to be missing it.
When are you going down, Brian?
May 18th through the 25th.
No, you're not. Are you kidding me? That is prime tech preview time.
Really?
Of course it is. They got to get this sub bitch running.
It will be soft open.
This is tech preview. Yeah.
Okay, so
no,
watch it. Stalk it when you're down there, because the fact that Velocicoaster is running flawlessly, I guarantee you, they may not be talking about it, but Disney wants to make sure this thing is running without a hitch by Memorial Day. You are in prime time, buddy.
So should I reach out to a cast member while I'm down there and be like, hey, who do I have?
It'll just be like, by the point you are down there, it will probably just be open most of the day.
They're going to be running tech preview. It'll be one of those, again, Velocicoaster they've done this other times, but I guarantee you with a ride like this, they're going to, if they don't do this, shame on them. They deserve what happens to them. They shouldn't want to tech preview this every day. If it's only open for 4 or 5 hours, they should want to make they want to show, at that point, they want to make sure this is running as out a hitch, smooth as butter.
So what would be a tip if I wanted to hunt to get a chance to get a tech rehearsal sneak preview?
It's just going to be there's going to be signs out front
and it'll be open.
Basically, what you're looking for is sandwich boards.
Okay.
Or walk by and see if it's open. That's a tech preview. What they were doing is, they'd be technical rehearsals for whatever. They haven't done this with other things, but this here's a roller coaster. They should really tech this a lot. I think that's what made the difference with Velocicoaster. Yeah. They didn't just tech Velocicoaster. They teched it every single day for like a month. It was rare for it to not be in a tech rehearsal.
Also, Bruce, Star Tours 2. We were there, about a month before grand opening?
A month, yes.
And it was just basically full open from the time we left that Muppets on the one day till we left.
It was just okay. He got the airdrop of we're open. Come on over.
And at the time, it was Matt Hochberg who had people from StudioCentral.com literally sitting at Backlot Express all day, just waiting to drop the news of tech rehearsals beginning. There's enough Disney podcasters out there that there's somebody who has their fans stalking.
Yeah.
Will now have their fans stalking Cosmic Rewind.
You'll know even before that, things like Disney Food Blog, any kind of thing, they're going to be out there and they're going to be letting the word out. I guarantee we're going to see, if we don't see this in mid-April, I'm stunned. I'm thinking mid-April, if they're planning on May, what is that this year? The 20-something? Late 20s?
Yeah.
Memorial Day? If that's what they're planning on opening, mid-April. Mid-April, if they're not doing tech in mid-April, shame.
Brian, I'll give you the full rundown, because much like it seems anytime we're going to Disney, we're just ships passing in the wind. Because I'm the 18th.
What's that?
I'm leaving the 18th.
Oh
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
When are you leaving?
We're driving, so whenever.
Oh, you guys are driving. Okay, we're driving too.
God help our souls.
You people.
So where you guys staying?
Boardwalk.
Oh my god, we almost booked there.
Look,
It's a small world after all.
For our DVC, it was Boardwalk or the consolation prize at Saratoga. We'll take Boardwalk all day, every day.
That's not even a question.
We almost booked the Boardwalk, and then Coronado Springs Tower opened up, and I really couldn't pass up my TA rate. I mean, I got a tower view king size bed for $1,500 for the week.
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
And then my ticket is 50% off. The only thing I had to pay full pop was her ticket. That was it. So
there's ways around that.
We haven't paid full pop for shit, but that's...
Well, you're a DVC member.
Yeah.
I'm just a travel agent. I don't have those perks yet.
See, I feel like I should try to book a trip to go down to leave right before you guys, but I can't because I'm going to a bachelor party in Vegas in April. So
the thing for me that is great, because even if they're doing restricted tech rehearsals, I've got most of those creds too, as long as it's not CMs only.
It should CM only. I doubt they do it off times. And CM only tends to be before they do a tech. I really don't think I think you guys are gold. You guys are going to the golden window. In fact, May 1st, they're not saying we got to get this sumbitch up and open and running. This is not. Okay, fine. Say what you will about whatever Rise of the Resistance, Remy's and everything. This is a roller coaster. This ain't your common attraction here. The best way to test this is get those trains running as fast as you can and test those CMs too.
And it's not just a roller coaster. It's that this is also the kickoff for the summer of 2022. Like they need to have. And they don't have an attraction. Like the last big attraction that they had was Remy, and that opened up back in November, October for the.
Also, there ain't shit at Epcot.
But even with Remy, here's the difference between Remy, Rise of the Resistance, and Smuggler's Run. You know what the difference is? Cast members. That's the difference. You got to be able to get in the station, load, unload, in, move. You got to get, more than anything else, not just the ride itself, you got to get them used to a high capacity. You want them to be able to, that's the one, again, Velocicoaster did it. Don't even get me started on the travesty that is Hagrid's system. But you want them you want to be able to have these cast members rocking and rolling. You want to have them having no issue. Oh, I know what to do here. You don't want to have that issue late. Oh, we're doing a week of tech previews? What's wrong with you? In 2022? Come on.
And here's the X factors. We don't know because we don't know the layout of the coaster.
Right.
But what are the block sections? What will cause it to cascade? Where will it be a hard stop that will require a manual reboot?
Right.
We don't know any of that. Listen, we've seen pictures inside the show building, but I still don't know how this thing goes from load to unload. I know it launches back into the main building, but who the heck knows what happens after that?
Right.
There's a lot of variables.
Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. It launches into the show building. In case you guys don't read the internet.
We are at the point that I assume any new indoor coaster launches because they can't build a lift till tall enough.
Yeah. Well, it launches in Florida, yeah, but it launches backwards is the thing.
Yeah.
And then the cars probably
Shocking.
rotate.
Guardians of the Galaxy have to get away from something.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
But stunning.
I'm going to divert us again because do you ever feel like you need a little bit more control in your house? Do you ever feel like you need a little bit more oversight? How would you feel about having the HOA from hell and moving into a Disney residential community?
This almost sounded like an ad promo for our podcast.
It did for a second. I was like, do we have a sponsor? Are we sponsored?
Do we have a sponsor here?
No.
And does my sponsor have to cover up Shorty here because he deserves to be seen?
No. But no, Disney Story Living. They're going to build residential communities starting in Arizona.
I did hear about this. This is, I mean, like...
Talk to anybody who lived in early Celebration.
Yeah.
Or lives in Celebration now. This is shit you don't want. This is HOA from hell. You read about bad HOAs. Now imagine you have the Disney Gestapo out there every week measuring your lawn. You are a quarter inch too tall. $1,000 fine. Mow your lawn.
Read the back of your ticket. These are the people that will judge you based on what you wear into a theme park on your vacation that you are paying to be down there. What makes you think where you live is going to be any better?
And I don't want to know what it's going to cost to live there. Like, oh yes, I bought my house. Now what's my HOA dues? $1,500 a month? What? That's a mortgage.
Well, don't forget, the bloodletting. They're actually going to take your blood. That's the whole hard part of this human harvesting.
So this is like West Coast Golden Oaks.
Oh no! Golden Oaks is way different than this. This is managing everything.
Do not worry. This is the start of Westworld. You're welcome.
Yeah.
This is how Westworld starts.
Okay, Ryan, think of it this way: Golden Oaks is for the people with more money than they know what to do with.
True.
Story Living is more or less aimed at upper middle class, beginning to retirees.
Okay.
They say it's for everybody, but let's be real. It's going to be Gen Xers and late boomers moving there.
Yeah.
Can I just say what the truth is? Jimmy Buffett did it first.
Oh, yes.
Buffett, honestly, when I saw that, I was like, Jimmy Buffett did this. They had to give away a house. They had to give away houses on Wheel of Fortune. That's not a good sign.
I have no faith in this. I think it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible waste of resources, and there are better things Disney could diversify in.
Why?
What are they thinking? Were they just looking at the whole Epcot concept that Walt envisioned? Be like, oh, this is a great idea.
This is what happens when you pay your CEO extra. When Bob Chapek gets a raise, this is what happens.
I am going to look at this as optimistically as I can. And if you've read a lot of books about late stage Walt, he had a lot of love of planned communities.
Yes,
right.
In fact, two of the biggest communities he loved are right near me, Reston, Virginia, and Columbia, Maryland. He loved these communities because they are planned. Everything's out there, all designed around this shopping center, this shopping hub center. And that's what this shit is. Like, you look at the diagrams, they go, yeah, we've tried this. Most of these towns have failed for a reason. People can't afford to live in them.
Yeah.
It's also called Stepford.
Oh, yeah. That's happening. It's going to be bad. So I think our short take is save your money. Don't live there.
Wait for reviews
first. We can't afford to live there anyway.
Yeah. Just wait and see what happens. Listen, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt here, but Disney, I think your time and money are better spent elsewhere.
Also, I'm going to point out my own hypocrisy of saying we can't afford to live there, says the guy in his basement smoking a cigar.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. What they do with Arizona, What's there to do in Arizona?
Golf.
Yeah.
Die of heat. It's a dry heat, though. Don't worry.
No, this is just if this, look at it this way. If the town fails, it's probably in the middle of nowhere. They can just drop an atomic bomb and everything will go away.
I'm just going to say it. So, do they get country bears? Because that's how country bears started, was at a ski resort that didn't take off. So, like, what are they doing here? I guarantee there's going to be something.
What kind of Disney theme are we getting here?
Horizons.
Who knows?
That's the very day. That's the name of the town. That's the very day.
We clearly know how they're funding this. And that is from the new price increases that just dropped recently.
How bad are they? I haven't really looked.
They're 2 to 6%, and they are only on 3-day and above tickets. The 1-day and 2-day park hoppers have not been affected.
Of course, because who's buying those?
Exactly.
This ain't Disneyland.
Much like anything, they're not, as it feels every year, they're not game breakers. They're not game changers. And I read the article on it. I can't argue too much. This is actually the first significant price increase since 2019.
Yeah.
What is it up to for the tickets?
It's all arranged because I didn't break any.
Oh, dynamic pricing.
That's why it's 2 to 6%. I think it went up more on the higher scale dates. The 2%'s your average day, and
yeah.
Plus, it depends. Are you looking at a 4-day ticket or a 10-day ticket?
Yeah.
I wonder, do they still do the passport for England?
I don't know. Nobody.
I think it's like a 14-day ticket they used to do for England.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I don't think they brought that back yet.
Can they travel here yet?
I don't know.
Wait. I have the most important question. Because, oh my God, the parks are so crowded as it is. When did the Brazilians get here yet?
I don't think so.
Well, the parks are only so crowded because they haven't just said full capacity. Screw it. Have they?
Bruce.
No.
I've been there. I don't want to see them at full capacity anymore.
Yeah.
It's half capacity or whatever it's at it's a disaster. It's packed.
And especially now where their new mask mandate, it's the honor system again. So it says for people that are fully vaccinated don't no longer have to wear face masks anywhere. And it's like, how many people down there are actually going to be fully vaccinated?
Yeah, but at the same time,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Country at this point, and
at the same time, you're not. I sit in a theater full of 1,800 of great friends of mine. I don't feel unsafe if I wasn't wearing a mask.
Right.
It comes that to me. It's less about the mask mandate and more about it comes to a point.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it doesn't bother me as much. I just know with like my wife's health, like that's one of her concerns. I'm like, look, if you want to wear your face mask while we're down there, wear your face mask. I don't care. I mean, she's vaccinated, but she's just more cautious of other people.
But it doesn't. You could always wear a face mask at Disney if you wanted.
Yeah.
No, not until COVID. Come on. They had everything against covering your face.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen plenty of Asian tourists down there wearing them.
Yeah. But my whole thing is I am a little bit more sensitive to Disney still for one reason. You still have the under 5, unable to be vaxxed crowd. And a lot of them.
Yeah.
That's my sensitivity. I personally don't care. If I was going to the parks, just me, I wouldn't wear a mask at this point. But because I will be going with my daughter and to encourage her to keep hers on, because
right.
It's
monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be wearing it, and yeah, it's annoying. But I'm more sensitive because you are surrounded by the people who can't be vaxxed. Now, once they roll out the vaccination for the little kids, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm less about worry. To me, it's less about a mask mandate. Whether or not they have that, I don't think changes anything. I think it's more a capacity issue. I'm wondering if we're not going to see more backstage areas being used for which were only ever used during the holiday seasons. I wonder if we're not going to see more of those just being used for general flow of people.
They need to, and I don't still fully grasp why the parks are feeling so crowded, because even at parks where there is minimal closed and all the attractions are mostly running at full capacity at this point. And minimal closed, like, there's not a lot of shows or things eating up people that are closed at Magic Kingdom, but it's still, I was there beginning of December and it felt like I was there 4th of July weekend. Like,
they have been very on and off crowded. During the week, in the off times is better, but I can't really answer that as to why it's more crowded. But I've said this. I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. They're adding things to bring more and more people, but the infrastructure of the Magic Kingdom has not changed to allow them to have more people. You need it. I get it. We want to keep the magic. You gotta utilize the backstage space you have. Utilize it. I get wanting to keep the magic, but you're having every year they want to have more and more people come. It ain't gonna happen with the infrastructure they've built. They did not build it for these capacities. They just said, we're just going to raise capacity. That's part of the problem, is that I don't think they've really looked hard at what their average capacity Magic Kingdom should be. Gone are the days where you should have 90,000 people in the park, 75,000, whatever. I think so. I actually think max capacity of Magic Kingdom, was it 90? It's been a while.
You would know, we wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I don't.
But
it might be 75 or 80.
Wait, just while we're talking about this, because this is a frustration I had as I'm trying to book this trip coming up, is, okay, oh, cool, we could make our park reservations. Oh, wait, you haven't released the operating hours yet. I'm sorry, I don't want to accidentally book myself at a park that's closing at 7 p.m.
Right.
Like, just release it. You should have a good enough clue. And if you're making it later, nobody's going to care.
They know. These hours don't... I'm sorry. Outside of... whatever... I was going to say Not So Scary, but I know they changed the name. Outside of your holiday events, they don't change that much here, folks. Like, come on.
It bewilders me that I can't even see that when I can make park reservations. If you're going to allow me to make park reservations, give me the operating hours. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking. I'm enjoying the fact I have a 60-day window to book my dining. I actually like that a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because, oh dear God, 180 is impossible. And if you're going to do tiered windows, because I think 180 days works for the restaurant that isn't on the main Disney reservation system anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you're booking Vicky and Al's, you should be able to book that 6 months out.
Right.
But everything else, no. 2 months, and I still say you stagger the release of the reservations on that. You release 75% on the 60-day day, maybe another 15% on the 30-day window, and then leave the rest for walk-up.
Right.
It also allows you more than you're not pushing these people. Well, I technically haven't booked a trip yet, but I'm 180 out. I'm thinking about it, so I better book my dining reservations.
But also, you're looking at the sheer fact of they have this limited restaurant still, it seems.
It is
capacity at the restaurant. And, we're getting close to the rumors of the dining plan returning in the nearish future. And I'm sitting here at days and I'm like, I can't book a table service.
Yeah.
And it's a normal day. Like, what about when the dining plan returns and people are now like, oh shit, I gotta spend this sit down.
I do not think it's returning. I've heard internally there's a chance. It used to be a very good chance. That chance has dwindled a little bit. I heard internally, there was a point internally it was not returning. Period. End of discussion. That seems to have changed, but it's still more on the not returning side. Brian would know better.
I've heard mixed. So I've heard what you've heard, but I've also heard that it's coming back, but it's going to be revamped. Like it's going to be
you heard that in the last month, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's revamped to the point where, because right now, if you look at, here's an example. If you're staying at a deluxe resort or a villa resort, like a DVC resort or like one of the deluxe resorts, you have you are guaranteed extra magic hours. You can stay up to, I think, 2 hours after the park closes if you're staying at one of the deluxe resorts. So with that perk staying at a deluxe resort, they're going to have perks for a meal plan as well. And it might trickle down to a different tier for moderate and a different tier for value.
But they've always kind of had that, mostly when they would roll out the free dining plan. Oh, yeah, you get the free dining. You booked at an All-Star, but you're getting the quick serve only option.
Right.
So they've always kind of had that to a degree.
But it's one of those things where if you stay at an All-Star, if you want to get a meal plan, this is the only meal plan you get. If you stay at a moderate resort and you want to get a meal plan, this is the only meal plan you get. If you stay at a deluxe resort and you want to get a meal plan, this is the meal plan. That's
you should not. That is not fair. You should not make those poor people get a deluxe dining plan unless you're revamping it. That's just cruel.
I'm not saying the poor people get the deluxe plan. I'm saying that the rich people get the deluxe.
No. Brian, I am fat. And I cannot eat a deluxe dining plan.
I'm a man who likes to eat, and I can eat. And I'm telling you, the deluxe dining plan, that was eating. Because you better book signatures. Why? That's the only way you're going to use those credits there, buckos.
Well, and let's not even hide the fact that they add an extra course. You get the appetizer again once you get the deluxe.
I've always said I want to do it, but at the same time, I'm like, can I really? And this is me talking. Can I really eat and snack that much?
Now, see, what I would pay for is like a flat fee during the Food and Wine Festival where you can all you can eat and all you can drink around the world.
Well, I have said for years, Food and Wine's a ripoff, and they need to come up with a better system for it. But yeah, I've always been a fan of having the dining plan around. We've had debates on whether it's worth the money. I think you should be able to. It's nice to let people have the option. But yeah, there was a point in time. Brian, I know you heard it too. There was a point in time that ain't coming back. And then Bob Chapek said, "I like money."
Yeah.
I have the solution for Food and Wine, and it's the same thing every festival around the country has done for years.
Get rid of Food and Wine?
Coupons.
There you go.
You need coupons.
Yeah.
But you simplify it. You have nothing be more than like 2 coupons.
Yeah. Like 1 free drink, 1 free entree.
The Food and Wine, it's always been a ripoff. The lines are so long.
I know.
I don't want to wait. Honestly, during Food and Wine, I would go to Beer Garden. Why? While you people are having your frizzy little foods, I sat down. All I could drink. I had my giant stein of beer, and I was happy.
I don't know. I think during this Festival of the Arts, I think there was a longer line for the Figment bucket than it was to get a brewski.
Yeah, well, that's because people are. I'm sorry, the Figment bucket is not the coolest popcorn bucket out there. You have to go to Tokyo for one of those.
But what I will say about the Food and Wine food, oh Lord, let's all wait around for food sitting under heat lamps.
Yeah.
Like,
none of it's been that good. I've tried things. None of it's been that good. Even the drinks, I'm like, really? I don't think there was a shot of alcohol in here.
So I'm getting the drinks. I get the beer, honestly, because during not food and wine, but flower and garden. They have Carib beer, which is my favorite beer from my honeymoon, and it's the only place I've seen it in the States to get it. So I enjoy it there. That's it. But, in all this stuff, since we're getting on annoying money-grubbing stuff, hey, did you see that if you stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser, you can get a personalized lightsaber for an extra fee?
Wait, what?
Yeah, it'll be personalized.
How much?
Oh, I didn't read prices. They didn't release prices in the article I read.
That's because Disney Food Blog will tell us everything. Folks, you're going to want to tune on next Tuesday because Disney Food Blog is going to apparently tell all on Friday.
All right, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So, is it on the Galactic Star Cruiser? For an additional fee, you can get a personalized lightsaber.
It is you can get it personalized, and they are selling an exclusive lightsaber on the Star.
That I heard. I knew that.
They're selling it. They're selling the exclusive, and you can get it personalized. Is what they say. What that entails, I don't know. Is it a little guy with a little etch-a-sketch going, I put your initials on it, or
it's a Grogu puppet that writes it on
there. No, here's what I'm thinking. It's probably going to be. It's going to be something on the not as immersive as the building a lightsaber at Savi's workshop, but I think it's going to be that kind of personal thing where you might be able to. Well, no, you said it's an exclusive that you can personalize. I don't know. Maybe it would just be something like in the box or like.
I do not know.
I'm guessing, though, here's my bid on this lightsaber. I'm going to guess that if it's an exclusive one on the Galactic Star Cruiser, let's see here. The Star Cruiser costs, what, $7,000 for 2 nights?
Yeah, I would like.
I'm going to guess it's going to be $299.
Probably.
Mainly because with Savi's workshop is $220. They start at $199 at Doc Ondar's. If you just want to get like Anakin's or Obi-Wan's, or like Darth Vader's, it starts at $199. The most expensive is it's a dual set. It comes with the Leia's lightsaber. It's Rise of Skywalker collection. It's the Leia's lightsaber and then the rehilt of Luke's that Rey uses, or what they call, it's like Luke and Leia's, the two of them together. I believe, and the only way to get Leia's lightsaber is if you buy the set together. I do believe that is listed at $499, $599 for the set. So I'm assuming this exclusive one for the Star Cruiser is probably going to be around the $299, $399 price point.
That makes sense to me.
I would think $349.
And
$349, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, $349. So I'm agreeing with you, but I'm going to go middle ground. I think they'll probably put the $349 on it.
$349, and then you personalize it for an extra $50.
Could be. That could be. Or it could be $299. I could see them certainly doing that.
$299.
I think this is freaking ridiculous. Like, come on.
It absolutely is ridiculous. But also, they've already begun to strip away the enchantment of the Galactic Star Cruiser.
With the magic band?
As you no longer get data bands when you board, you get magic
bands. And they're just magic bands. It ain't something special.
Why did we change the name?
Yeah,
I know. Speaking of magic bands, whatever happened to the 2.0 ones that they were supposed to come out with? The ones with like the LED light around like the band itself, and it's like Disney smartwatch.
Go ask Dick Tracy. If you know, you know. Go ask Dick Tracy because it's with him in his theme park section of Hollywood Studios.
I'm going to ask you a better question. Why have magic bands yet to be incorporated onto the cruise ships?
You know, that's a good question.
Because if you've never been on a cruise, you need to have your room key on you at all times. It is how you buy anything. Like, literally, your world is already the magic band. Can it be a magic band? Can I put it on my wrist?
That's why they're phasing out magic bands at the parks so they can take the stock at the cruise ships.
Here's the funniest thing: if you send a kid to the kids club, they get a modified Magic Band. It's a bigger Magic Band because it has a GPS tracker on it.
Tapo, got it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, why is this not on the cruise ships? Like, this is the one thing that should have always been there. So
Yeah, that
that seems
you would have thought the Magic Band should have started on the cruise ships before they launched in the park.
super easy integration once you factor it in, because the cards are tap anyway. So the only thing I could see is they want you to have the card to encourage you to carry around your ID as well.
They really wanted to use these to start. They did not want to use Magic Bands. They really wanted. Yeah, when they started Magic Bands, they really wanted. They want to spend the price on the Magic Band. The Magic Band was, when they rolled it out, they really wanted to do everything through your cell phone. The idea was kind of like Disney Plus is, where as you're going, they can monitor everything and be like, oh, you tried this? Here, try this, try that. The Genie Plus style of we're monitoring everything you do. They really wanted to use my Disney experience for that.
I'll tell you what, it was weird when I went down in September. It was because I didn't have a Magic Band on me. I was like, let's try with the phone. It was weird. I mean, it worked, but I just scanning my phone up to the turnstile to let me act. I'm like, this is bizarre.
And just like Dozer said before, they won't use your phone so much, the phones go dead. They really, when they once started, they did internally really want the Magic Bands, in my understanding, to be on your phone, but not everyone had a smartphone back then, or a smartphone capable.
And even if you do have a smartphone, I'm just going to family of 3 here. We are probably the easiest family you could have with a kid.
Yeah.
And it still gets complicated because now Meg would have to scan her phone twice, or I would have to scan my phone twice. And it just gets awkward with that, and it slows things down, and it's not efficient.
And then what if, like, knock on wood, but what if, like, there's no signal? Like, what if, like, your phone all of a sudden, like, it's just not syncing up to...
That was part of it. That's why they went with the Magic Band. I know internally they really wanted... Well, everyone has a smartphone, frankly, and the apps change. And I'm just going to say it, as someone who recently switched brands, it's amazing how many apps just don't work with Samsung and only work with Apple. It's amazing that they actually work better with Apple iOS based than Android based. Amazing.
And that is one of those big things that it does make a big difference because, and the reason I singled out Meg is that whole system works better with Apple.
Unfortunately.
Because you can save it in your Apple wallet, but for some reason, I have my Google Pay wallet, I can't save it in there. Like, we're not asking you to make it so it could work with every bespoke wallet that exists, because there's 100 of them. Make it work with Google Wallet, the one that works on all of Android.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice to not walk around with a Magic Band, but I don't know. I still
never wear mine. I just leave mine in my pocket.
Yeah.
I wear mine, but it doesn't bother me because I wear a watch most of the time. So it's second nature, and all my like mannerisms at Disney are set up for my Magic Band. Like, I'm fairly certain if I went to do a card or my phone, I would forget what finger I scanned.
Right.
Because it's all set up for me to go.
Yeah. I never forget. The Magic Bands never quite fit me. The newer ones aren't as bad, but the Magic Bands just never quite fit me to my comfort level. So
I just bought 2 for this trip. I decided to treat myself and got the 50th anniversary.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, treat myself.
I got the 50th anniversary Florida Project one on our last trip.
Wait, the Florida Project one?
I'll send you a photo.
Okay, yeah, the one that I got has like the Orange Bird, Figment, Star Tours. It has like all the characters on it and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and then
in-store only one.
And then I got her Mulan. So
Bella got a pink sparkly one
man.
that
I
the
saw
Spartans
that.
have pulled off.
That like rose gold, is that the one?
Yeah, it's rose gold and sparkly, but like the layer of sparkles has separated from the other magic band. It's really janky, and that's after one trip. So
Oh, so that's why it's on sale for $10 on the website then. That makes sense.
Yep.
yeah, it's crap.
I'm glad I didn't get that one.
You know, and just one last thing, because I saw this editorial, and it just made me laugh at the headline. JPEG, trying to rebrand as an innovator from a bean counter. It's not working.
It's never gonna happen because all your innovations are anything that's already in the pipeline was already in the pipeline before you took over there, bucko. I know for a fact things he would have done. I know for a fact things that man would have scrapped if he could have. Do not trust that snake in the grass. I never have. I never will. There's sheep who believe in him. I will never believe in that man. He is a bean, worse than a bean counter. He is cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. And he wants you to spend more money every year at Disney while he's cheap as cheap gets. Cheap back.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm sorry. I really am, but do not trust that. That's why I'm glad when they announced Princess and the Frog, I'm like, oh, he's going to rush this through. Good, you're taking your time.
Yeah.
I think they jumped the gun way too early on that, frankly.
Well, yeah.
No, he just wanted positive news.
Here's how it's going
true.
to work. They're not going to do a thing with that attraction until every last animatronic is ready to go.
Yeah.
If anyone who knows anything about how they test Disney animatronics, it gonna be wild.
Yeah, I have, especially because I expect them to try to go double down, double reveal, double open. They're going to all the same.
Oh, for both.
Both parks will go down the same day, and they'll reopen the same day.
What you're going to want to do, the easiest way to do it, is to have everything ready, close, gut, in, open. You could do it in a couple of months. It really won't take that long. But you have to be, you cannot, and it's just the truth. At Magic Kingdom, you cannot take Splash Mountain offline more than its yearly rehab until you are absolutely ready. You have to be 100% sure of what you're doing with that attraction. Because if you lose Splash during the summer, you're a fool. And you deserve what happens to you. Because then, if you lose Splash, that Thunder Mountain, as stringent as Thunder can be, and as many trains as they can run through, they don't have enough. You have a dead zone in your park if you move that attraction too early.
Lift Hill, the ride.
You were too scared to redo Space Mountains inside because you didn't want to take the top off. What do you think's going to happen when you take Splash Mountain down? Pirates? You think pirates can handle that kind of capacity? Ah!
Jungle Cruise can't handle its own capacity.
Yeah.
It's not like anyone's jumping into Country Bears.
You and your Country Bears.
I love those country. I have to mention them because if I don't, he'll just take them away from me quietly. One day you're just going to go, what happened to Country Bears? And they're just going to close it overnight.
You're going to walk by and you're going to see expanded seating for Tortuga Tavern. Not open.
It's just, you're just going to walk by.
A giant churro stand.
There's going to be a picture of me lying face down. What's wrong? No! Why? You couldn't let us do it once more, jerk!
Like, the pre-show area would still be there. The doors to the show just won't open, so you have the moose and all that just hanging there, not talking.
I will take them off the wall if I have to save them. I will do whatever it takes. I will be the only funeral home with, a deer, an antler, and a moose in them. I will do whatever it takes to save them.
Where it's so sad, where like even the lights above them, where they would shine, they just have all that back area just like dark. The animatronics are there, just there's no lighting to show that.
It's sad enough. They barely work as it is.
I know.
Understanding them is so hard. It's so sad. Honestly, it's just so sad walking in. You're like, what happened?
Which considering when the Disney urban explorers that went places and got kicked out for long periods of time, the amount of shit that Disney just kind of walls off and leaves is not a trivial amount. And some of the shit you sit there and go, why did you do this? Like the DVC members lounge. Half the shit from the fun side of the Imagination Pavilion is still up there.
Yes, it is. It's just
there
there.
Off for some unknown reason.
Body Wars much?
Well, there ain't much left now.
No, there wasn't. But for a while, we're just gonna put a wall in front of it. That's it. How about in Disneyland? When you're in Winnie the Pooh, I think it's the Heffalump room. If you enter and turn around, there's the 3 heads, just there. Just there. We'll just leave them as an Easter egg. I'm pretty sure when they did Winnie the Pooh, I would not be surprised if there's Mr. Toad stuff just there behind a wall.
There is. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
by stuff I mean like the entire attraction.
Hey, how long? For a very long time, Food Rocks just laid.
And also Cranium Command. I'd like to know who actually like grabbed the kid or whatever. That whole story where they just like walk.
Has anyone checked John Stamos' house? Fairly certain he has it.
I'm sure.
And I'm all for that. It's just one of those. Unfortunately, listen, the Country Bears, we all know their days. As much as I love them, we all know their days are numbered. It's just a matter of time. Frankly, the amount of times I've heard of Speedway going is scary. The fact that attraction's still around.
I thought they were turning Speedway into Tron. They were going to turn that whole like because you have the Tron lights that.
There was a talk of just demolish. Somehow the Speedway is Teflon. Listen, I'm surprised Stitch reopens at all, and they're just like, take down the sign, it's gone. Till we know what to do with it, it's there. Goodbye.
I am still just perennially shocked that, the Speedway in Tomorrowland, they've yet to figure out a way to put some alternative fuel go-kart in there. Nope.
Yeah.
These are going to run off the dirtiest smelling gas you've ever smelled.
And I'm surprised no one reached out to Elon Musk to do something with the Speedway presented by Tesla and people drive all like.
Oh, like God, no. Do you know how much that attraction would cost with Elon attached?
Not like driving a Tesla, but like driving electric vehicles or something.
Well, I stand by what I said. No, I'm not talking about electric. I'm just talking about Elon involved. Well, it's only going to cost us $1.8 trillion to do this. I like that. I love it. I love Elon. Don't get me wrong, but the Simpsons episode makes fun of him for a reason.
Yeah.
Look, he doesn't know how to save money. That's his own world.
He's like a real life Iron Man, except less cool.
Except without the iron suit.
Yeah, without the iron suit, he just has. He's more.
He's Batman.
He's more of
he's Batman without the darkness.
No, he's Tony Stark. That's what it is. He's just Tony Stark.
Howard.
Tony, because he makes way more
money.
Twitter makes him Tony.
That's true.
But I think on that incredible bombshell, this is a great point to end for tonight. Unless anyone else has some good Disney stuff. Bruce, do you have any Horror Nights updates?
I don't have a Horror Nights update, but what I have, I actually follow Julie Zimmerman, one of the co-creators of Halloween Horror Nights, on Instagram. I reached out to her from something she had put up. For our Horror Nights fans out there, coming this October, look for it. Julie Zimmerman wrote a book. I reached out to her on Instagram and she responded. She wrote a book about creating Horror Nights. So I will inform you. The permits are out there. We don't have dates yet, but we are getting close. we're less than a week from March, and I have a feeling March is going to be when we're finally going to find out more information. So just hold on, folks. It's not that much longer. There's just some speculation. You could talk Texas Chainsaw. I doubt that, but also, there's my PSA. If you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw on Netflix, don't read the reviews. Just watch it.
I was just gonna say, Bruce, I watched it. My God, was that fantastic!
What a good movie now! And people the people want to nitpick this. First off, we've had way worse Texas Chainsaw movies and sequels and whatnot. Second, it was just a fantastic time. It is something, Brian, what a fun movie that is.
That was...
Without spoilers, what about that opening kill?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was really good. I mean, you want to talk about... It reminded me of Halloween. Like, when they redid that, like, the story bringing back Laurie Strode and, like, doing the whole Halloween kills. I mean, this is a 20 years later from the first movie.
This is decidedly a continuation of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I know what you mean about being like Halloween, but this is just a Texas Chainsaw done for a...
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I love this whole nostalgia where they really cut to the core of the original and they make it modern. Like, well, I love this. I love what Hollywood is doing with these movies. Spoiler
alert! I'm just gonna put it up there because we seen it. No, she's not gonna see it, so I can talk about. Spoiler alert! I loved spoiler. I loved when she's talking to him, and from her, I actually had to watch it a second and third time to really get the grasp of. She's talking to him, and she's getting upset that how come you don't remember me, and the fact that she doesn't get from her standpoint. We know that he's got mental problems, and she just thinks he's a psycho who tortured her friends and family. No, yes, there's family in there. As much as he's a terrible, terrible character, Franklin counts as family. We're all happy Franklin dies. No one likes Franklin. Sorry, it's just horror truth. I was at a drive-thru watching this. People were honking their horns of the original when Franklin got killed, okay? But I just love the fact that she was so upset that he doesn't even remember me.
Now, is that the original actor who played Leatherface in this one?
No, Gunnar Hansen is dead.
Okay, what about the woman?
That is her. That is Sally. That's the original Sally Hardesty.
That's the original Sally?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the original Sally died at like 26 or something. I thought she had...
No, I'm pretty sure that's the original Sally.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Leatherface is dead. I know for a fact Gunnar Hansen is dead. Take a quick look. I thought that was the original Sally Hardesty.
I'm IMDbing this right now because she looked familiar, but I'm like, I thought the original Sally like died back like in the late 70s, early 80s.
Unfortunately, people who make horror movies don't have a track record of.
No, that's not the original Sally.
It's not. Okay, I thought it was.
The original Sally's last Texas Chainsaw was Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Ugh.
All right, let me look here at the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Marilyn Burns was the original one.
Okay.
She died in 2014. All right.
Okay.
So
I thought I read it was the original one. Doesn't matter. You know what? I thought I read that. It was a clickbait article. Must have just meant it's the original woman from. Doesn't matter. I thought it was the original one. Doesn't. I'm happy to be wrong.
This is eerie. So I'm on IMDb. So. Burns, her date was 2014. She died August 5th, 2014 in Houston, Texas by natural causes. That's creepy. That's creepy. The original Sally. Texas by natural causes. Now that is creepy. Or irony, or however you want to look at it.
I actually, now that you say it, I don't think any of that original cast is still with us. Even Tobe Hooper's gone.
Really?
Oh, Tobe Hooper's long gone.
When did he die?
Oh, he died a while ago. 4 years? I know that to me, that's a long time. I know some people that, well, I'm like, oh, he's at least 3 or 4 years dead. No, No, Tobe Hooper's definitely, Tobe Hooper passed away. I know people were criticizing it because it's, folks, nothing's going to be the original. The original is one of my favorite horror movies of all. It's just impossible to and also it's impossible to capture the original. If you truly read, he actually, Gunnar Hansen, I think it was Gunnar. Somebody wrote a book about making the original. If you truly knew what they did on that set, they had to be horrific. It was horrific to make. But if you haven't watched on Netflix, I encourage you, just go in open-minded. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre for a new age.
It's good.
To the extent the director even said, to be called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I have to up the ante. I can't just kill 5 people. That's ridiculous. I gotta kill more than that.
Yeah. You gotta kill a whole town. Let me ask you this. So I also started watching Chucky. Fantastic.
Isn't it so
fantastic.
Good? Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, with all these, like, nostalgia, like, things that we grew up with.
The sad part is, Chucky's not even nostalgia. It's still continuing the same plot.
That's true. You're right.
It's scary.
Right.
That is the only horror franchise that has continually followed the same plot since the 80s.
Well, all right, so let me ask you this. So we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We have Chucky. They just released a Halloween film. If you were to basically revamp or do what they're doing with these horror films, these franchises, one that hasn't been in, like, what would you do? Like if you had the reins to create something, which one would you go with?
Well, part of the problem here is we have legal issues. There's a specific reason a certain franchise hasn't come back. It's because it's almost done. Now, there's obviously we have Hellraiser, which is through. There's things coming to Hellraiser. Friday the 13th. I'm just saying, Friday the 13th been tied up. Frankly, what would I do? I would knock on his door and I'd ask him. I'd ask Robert himself, what's it gonna take, Mr. England? One more time with the glove. I just want one more. Imagine this. I don't actually know if she's still alive. Is it Heather Langenkamp? I think she was the original Nancy.
Play Nancy?
Yeah, I think it's Heather Langenkamp.
She's still alive. Yeah,
okay.
She's still alive.
I don't want one of this meta. I don't need this meta stuff. One more. Freddy and Nancy, the final showdown. They're doing. I know people say what's stealing from Halloween. Talent borrows, genius steals. One more. He said he won't. I would love if that one's what I would love as a fan because he's my favorite. I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and I love Fred. I love Freddy. I'd love to see that. But a horror franchise I'd like to take a reboot of.
Like, I mean, do you see how, like, what they did with, like, Scream and you have, like, well, like, Texas Chainsaw on Netflix, like, just anything. Like, if you were to, if they gave you the reins and be like... Well,
to be fair, Texas Chainsaw, by the way, so you know, I probably might already know, that was not a Netflix film. That fell in Netflix's lap. That was supposed to hit movie theaters.
Oh, I know that.
Netflix just happened to be like, yes, we will take you on, no problem.
Yeah. But no, you know what I mean, though? Like that, like how they're just bringing these back, and it's the metas are involved too. But like, if they were just like, here's money, what do you want to do? Do it. I stumped him.
No, it's not stumped. Here's the thing. There's one movie.
First impression, just the first one that pops in.
Well, here's the thing. You have to know me. There's one movie I would like seeing redone in the 21st century style with the 21st century cast, modern things, and modernize it a little bit. I think it's time for an army of tomatoes to rampage the world.
And I thought we were getting clowns.
What?
I thought we were getting clowns.
I just want a sequel. I don't need a redo. Please, ladies and gentlemen, just mail the studio like I have. I just want a sequel to Killer Clowns. Anyway, I think it would be fantastic, and I think it would work with a modern audience. I just want to see a modernized version because the first one's hard to watch, admittedly. The sequel's a lot better with introducing George Clooney and everything. It would either be Attack the Killer Tomatoes or a true redo of Leprechaun.
That was the other one I was thinking of.
Leprechaun. Listen, there's a lot of good ones out there to choose from. I would really like a modern day Leprechaun. None of this origin stuff here. To redo it, you want to redo? You want to continue or something? The problem with Leprechaun always, though, without Warwick Davis, it's kind of dead in the water. You
have to bring him back. Yeah, I mean, Warwick Davis would be. He would do it in a heartbeat. I mean, if it's one of those, he could do it.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but tempting him back might be hard. But I would welcome Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. If you're going horror, listen, there's certain ones you could try. I can't say that. I'm sorry. Tremors is done. They've ended Tremors.
Tremors.
At the spoiler alert, Bert dies. That's it. Tremors over. Bert kills himself in the most Bert way possible.
See. And
unless you bring back Kevin Bacon, that's the only selling point.
But Bert was the heart and soul. Kevin Bacon might have been there.
Yeah.
Bert Gummer was the heart and soul of Tremors. I literally watched it with a tear in my eye. But it's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just watched the end of my childhood. Goodbye, Bert. I salute you.
And I'm going to come out of left field. I am going to give an answer.
Okay.
It's a rare day I give an answer.
To a horror movie.
You know what? Some days I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
There's only one problem with that.
Piper's dead.
What?
Well, Piper's dead.
There's multiple problems with that then.
I forgot about that movie.
What's your problem with it?
No, I was gonna say that. No, Piper said that was actually gonna be my problem. I just said that. I was like, one problem with that is too. Like, no, that was my problem. Never mind.
That's the answer. I don't know who you cast for him.
A lot of issue that comes down with horror movies. I'm just trying to think of ones that are due for because horror movies tend to come back constantly. I am trying to think of one to give the Halloween treatment to. Obviously, Freddy comes to mind. We've had Scream.
Yeah.
They've tried. I know what you did last summer.
They tried it with Saw with Chris Rock. That failed. With Spiral.
That was not a continuation, though. That was inspired by. It's not a terrible movie. It's just terrible in the sense that it doesn't capture
spoilers, I knew from the beginning it was the partner. Just by...
I'm sorry. You're taking the actor who's coming off a hot turn in A Handmaid's Tale? Come on. It don't take a genius here. Spiral was okay. It's nothing fantastic.
I kind of want Gremlins.
Ask me again in 3 months. Let's talk about Gremlins in 3 months. I've been hearing heavy rumors of Horror Nights for Gremlins, but I'll believe it when I see it at this point.
Just the idea that if 21st century Gremlins.
Gremlins 3 is legitimate option. I'm not kidding. They're talking about it heavily. There's heavy rumors. Honestly, if you asked me this question last year, the answer would be simple. I wouldn't have thought a question about it. Hellraiser.
Hellraiser, yeah.
Since we're getting things on the Hellraiser front, I'm just trying to think. Listen, Joseph's not wrong. We all know I'd welcome any kind of killer clowns, anything.
I would love to see a 21st century Killer Clowns. It seems kind of too much. Give me Roland Emmerich doing Attack of the Killer Clowns. Give me the guy from Independence Day to do Killer Clowns.
The thing with Killer Clowns, we were this close to Killer Clowns too. We were that close, but they under-budgeted them for sci-fi. Damn you. But Killer Clowns could only be done with the Kyotos. If the Kyoto's on board, I'm not on board. It's simple as that. Just trying to give this for the horror franchise.
Even like Ridley Scott, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but when he did Prometheus, I loved that movie.
Ridley Scott's a little busy with Raised by Wolves.
True. But the idea that like Prometheus was this like fantastic sci-fi origin, somewhat Scientology that loosely tied into the alien world, but it wasn't a xenomorph, but it was concept of evolution. Like it had elements, but it was its own thing. And then they came out with Covenant. And
I like Covenant a lot, but the problem with Alien at this point, because again, we're talking Alien, unless they're whatever sequels they're planning to Covenant, Alien is there's certain movies, and again, I'm thinking a continuation from the first. Again, because that's what we're talking about here in a way. I'm sorry, untouchable. It just Alien and Aliens are untouchable. There's certain ones. Jaws is an untouchable movie.
Oh yeah, that's.
There's certain movies. I'm like, I'm sorry, Alien. You can't say, well, we're gonna make Aliens not happen. No, untouchable.
All these movies are untouchable because we have forgotten the one thing that have made all these horror movies great back in the day that we can't get our ass past, that we can't replicate it for some odd reason. You doing shit off camera, hiding what's happening, making it more scary by not showing the goddamn monster the whole day.
Well, that's 100% true. It just, but Aliens, that's 100% true. The problem is a lot of these Texas Chainsaw. Now he says you didn't delete the rest of the movies. It's up to you to decide what you think happened and didn't. Alien and Aliens. You can cut Alien 3. You can't tell. I would not touch those. I agree. What made them scary was the unknown. I agree with you.
You know, Predator kind of had that concept because the first Predator with Arnold, you never really.
Yeah, there's also a Predator prequel coming. Don't forget that.
It's still a live franchise.
There's one that would be interesting. I'm trying to remember. Did Arnold die in the first movie?
Oh, it's on Pluto.
You remember if Arnold died? I don't think he did.
He threw the chopper. I don't remember if he died after that.
I mean, the dude has been cashing in on this Terminator franchise that for a film that, like, for all these sequels can never work. I know he's older. He's retired. He shouldn't be acting. He should just be enjoying living in his house with his pet donkeys.
Smoking his cigars.
But I mean, like, that wouldn't be a bad idea. To at least have him as like a mentor or like part of an X-Force or something. The Predator's there and he's gonna kick ass again with the guy. Hell, give me a film with Chris Pratt and Arnold Schwarzenegger against the Predator. I'd see that.
No, please no with Chris Pratt. Stop shoving him down our throats.
I'm just saying father and son-in-law. Like, you know. Just saying.
I truthfully don't.
Because on the flip side, Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, you want to talk about films that touch our heart as kids. They dropped that magnificent trailer and that money shot with Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and like a few other casts all in one shot.
Well, yeah, I would like to sum up my father's thoughts on seeing that while watching the Super Bowl. Oh my Lord, I would not have recognized Laura Dern if she didn't speak.
Well, but still though, like that film and like the way how I'm pretty sure is going to be the final chapter of the franchise. The way how they just sold it to me, like it had those feelings. It had the nostalgia. It had the continuation of the first movie. Like it had all the checkpoints. And it's like there's another franchise where it's like it doesn't have to be a horror film, but they did it right. You know what I mean? Like they tied them together, and I don't know. Like it's frankly, I think Universal's starting to get a leg up of Disney, in my honest opinion, overall, with their content and everything.
I don't disagree on that. I'm not a huge Jurassic Park fan. I watch them because I like dinosaurs and they're entertaining enough. Like, it's funny. You know what? Here's one. I got it. I got this. I got the sequel, horror sequel we need. I got what everybody needs. It's just the one we're all been waiting for. Final Destination 6, baby.
Oh my god.
I love those movies, and I would
Those
welcome
are
the sixth
good.
one
Those are
with
good.
open arms. I'd say a Purge, but I'm not a Purge movie is always an option here at this point. I just did a quick list of horror franchises, and we just looked through it. And I'm like, I just couldn't quit. I'm like, let me see what the ones are listing. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Saw, Final Destination, Scream, Alien, Child's Play, Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Exorcist, one of the works, Jaws, we just talked about. It's just funny that we just had a Candyman that out of the
Yeah, we just had a Candyman. Yeah, we just had one.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I will say again, spoiler alert. He's not in it as much. Tony Todd does not.
Here, I got a sequel. For you. Bones with Snoop Dogg.
Listen.
Called Back in the Hood.
Well, see, you can't say Back in the Hood because the Leprechaun already took that when he goes back to the hood. The Leprechaun's place he's only liked so much he's gone back to twice.
But I'll just say Back in the Hood. You could say that.
You could say it, but still. When you're talking about the hood, the Leprechaun went to the hood and he liked it so much he decided to go back. It's the only place the Leprechaun has gone back to a second time. And he's been to space.
First, we can cash in on another franchise. He already did Coming to America. We can do Vampire in Brooklyn, too. We can do a sequel to a Vampire in Brooklyn. Do something like a Vampire in Harlem.
You're all on the right track. But you got to remember, you got to capitalize on recent deaths to really make one of these work well.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to get another installment in the Vampire Lestats world.
I'd be here for it.
Yeah.
Some of this, like, you got to... I think that if you're looking to reinvent something, the prime time to look is the early 2000s. Because the old franchises worth rebooting have all been rebooted 1,000 times at this point, or are still going on. But the early 2000s, you had this time frame of bad horror movies.
The problem is, like you've said before, you have obviously this is armchair stuff. You have a lot of those who are tied up in all sorts of terrible legal crap.
Ooh, I got one. I got one.
Dead, so.
Whatever happened to I Know What You Did Last Summer?
We just had an Amazon series that flopped.
Oh, really? I didn't even know there was an Amazon series.
Yeah, it flopped. The problem was because unlike The Boys or Invincible, where Amazon's been, or Legend of Vox Machina, where the Amazon's like, go! They really were like holding the reins and really stopping. Texas Chainsaw did not hold the reins. They really held those reins in. It was okay. It was nothing great. They canceled after one season. I can see why. Also, I Know What You Did Last Summer. We know who does it. So,
yeah.
Look, I'm going to come out here and I'm just going to say we're going to make a new horror franchise because it's not going to be a existing horror franchise, but it's a new
Studio 666. Sorry, couldn't help myself. It looks terrible.
Franchise, and you do a horror movie done right, based off of the Flood from Halo.
I'm here for it. I'm in. You got me. I'm with you.
And you tie it into the current Halo series because I do not think doing enough of the Flood in the series will work out well. I think they need their own thing because people who are in Halo for the action aren't going to be as enthralled with the horror aspect of the Flood. And if you haven't, just go back and replay Halo 1, 343, Guilty Spark, and tell me that is not like one of the pinnacles of horror gaming in a non-horror game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was fantastic. Because when it comes to gaming, I mean, there's certain things I don't know if you got, Joseph, I know you didn't say, I don't know, Brian, if you saw the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Is that, wait, the movie or the game?
The movie, the one that just came out, the recent Resident Evil movie.
Oh, no.
It combines the first two games in a way. It combines a couple of the first two games in a way. I agree with you, Dozer. I think that would be fantastic. The same way Resident Evil was to actually combine some of the other things, including Resident Evil Village, into a movie, which I think were great. But I think The Flood would be a fantastic horror movie, or even spin-off series from the show.
I was going to say, like a spin-off series for the show. Make like a
couple episodes. You could do a horror couple episodes with The Flood. I agree with you. I think that would be a fantastic addition. Because the truth is, we don't get new horror franchises or ability like that. It's just the truth. Think about it. You just said, everything's old is new again. They've been redoing a lot of them because
there's always something to do. And think how it can evolve over a couple series or movies, because you could have that first one based more off what you know from Halo 1, this parasite just trying to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one, you can introduce the Grave Mind, this hive mind amongst all of them. Find out what they were doing with all those dead bodies.
Yeah.
Right.
Because some of them get changed, but not everybody's fit to be changed into a flood. Some of them just...
Plus, it would finally buck the trend of horror games. Games translations are bad enough as it is. Horror is a whole different story. This new Resident Evil wasn't bad, but horror games, I mean, it's not gonna tell anybody.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on The Last of Us becoming a series on HBO?
I cannot wait. First off, sorry, I know we're running long here, but I did finally finish The Mandalorian. I haven't watched Boba Fett yet, but I did finally finish The Mandalorian. I cannot wait for The Last of Us to translate. I know they're going to make changes, but ladies and gentlemen, I am ready to hurt again. If you've never played or know the story of The Last of Us, we are in it together, ladies and gentlemen. I am ready to hurt. I really am.
Both those games are amazing.
Number two, the feelings. The feelings of number two are strong.
Yeah.
Actually, watching The Mandalorian, watching Gina Carano, I was like, she could be Abby from Last of Us 2. Just cast her now.
Yeah. So before we get off, real quick, your overall review of The Mandalorian.
It's good.
There's moments. There are
doesn't meet the hype. Does not meet the hype. Other people, you guys have portrayed it well to me, especially Dozer. You guys have all, and Brian, you guys have portrayed it well to me, and I liked it. I did enjoy it. But other people, does not meet the hype from other people have said it's enjoyable. I wish somebody warned me about episode 3 of season 2, but I mean, hey, whatever.
I may have warned you back when I first watched it.
You might have warned me. I do.
What
think you might.
What happened in episode 3 of season 2? I don't even remember.
Okay. Opening, they get to the planet, he's eating soup, an octopus jumps on Grogu's face.
Oh, yeah.
The whole lot of, the rest of the episode happens, the very end of the episode. I think I'm safe when it climbs on the ship and appears on the screen before Grogu eats it. I literally was watching the episode like this, I'm like, are you kidding me? The entire time. We said definitely the whole time. I liked the series overall. I really did. I like that they got a lot of people in it. Shout out Bill Burr. Bill Burr doing some fantastic work here. It's just funny. Monologue. I just finished F is for Family, which is a show on Netflix, which is, I think, it's an animated show, but it does a lot of real world stuff the right way. I just finished F is for Family with the final season, and he starts talking like, oh, Frank Murphy, oh, Bill Burr, I love you.
But like that little monologue that he talks about, he's pretty much an Imperial officer with PTSD. I'm like, damn, did that episode really touch
good stuff? The back end of both seasons are fantastic. I like what they did. But however, the real props have to go to the villain. Giancarlo Esposito has crafted an entire career of being the bad guy for a freaking reason. Gus on Breaking Bad. This Gus on Breaking Bad. He's done other things. He's done in The Boys. He's done plenty of stuff. But that man, the whole this is interesting. I'm like, oh, what you? Then he does this whole monologue. I'm like, you freaking genius! They casted you. I love you.
I think he's gonna be like the main villain in the Mandalorian series. Like he's gonna come back.
He should be, because the one thing you should not want to is kill him off until you have to. Breaking Bad, when they killed him off, they did it at the right time in the best way possible. If you guys didn't watch Breaking Bad, just when you think that jackass is gonna live, how did he survive? He fixes his tie, half his face is gone, and he falls down. Bravo! When they Moff Gideon, we're not seeing the Moff Gideon here because Giancarlo Esposito has just begun to monologue to us. Yeah. I love him. I'm so happy. But I think the cast they got is fantastic. I will watch Book of Boba Fett. I know what we talked about last time. I will watch it eventually. A little tepid. I know other people have told me I won't like Book of... They said you didn't love Mandalorian. I don't think you like Book of Boba Fett. We'll see. Who knows?
Like I said, with Book of Boba Fett, it is very bait and switch. Like, it's Boba Fett for all of, like, half the show. And then the second half is Mandalorian Season 3. Which I don't care for personally because... I get it, but just give me Mandalorian Season 3 then. I digress. I am glad I watched Mandalorian finally, but my personal assessment I like Star Wars, I don't love it, is that it's good, but it does not meet this. I knew the big reveal at the end of Season 2 with Luke. I knew that.
Still working.
Get to it! I freaking know it. Just get to it already. How long am I watching of this episode of doing this? Just get to it.
The one thing I will say about Boba Fett, you will appreciate the Western. Because it is like the whole season, it is a straight like love letter to the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like the entire show is a love letter to Clint.
I do love my Westerns. I will say, like even Mandalorian, when I saw that ship come in, I'm like, oh, I know who that is. I know that ship when it's flying straight. I know that's Boba. Listen, minor character, not every. That goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show, folks. Too much. Not everything needs its own thing. There's too much Star Wars. It's just too much for me.
Yep.
But I want my Obi-Wan trailer. Just give me my Obi-Wan trailer.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch that before I even attempt to watch one episode because I am really not excited for Obi-Wan. I see no point in it personally.
I'm just wondering.
Especially because I think it comes out around the time of She-Hulk, and well, we all know I'm watching that.
May 25th it launches, and I'm like, we don't have a trailer. We got a trailer for Doctor Strange, which looks fantastic, by the way. And wait, speaking of horror, this is officially Marvel's first horror movie. The MCU is involved. There were other Marvel films in the past, like Blade and all that stuff, but this is their first horror movie.
Horror.
Quote unquote.
Here's the thing with that. And not surprised, but we have the master. The absolute modern master. I don't care what anyone says. You can pull out Jordan Peele's name all you want. We have the master of horror, Velveeta, here. The man is good at what he does, and Sam Raimi does it well.
So that's why I'm really excited for this doc. If they're saying it's a horror film, comic book horror film,
the trailers really haven't portrayed it as super horrific. I know they've said that, so I'm tepid on if it's actually going to be horror.
Well, they did. If you look back at the trailer, if you've seen or watched What If, the animated series, there is the one episode about the zombie Avengers. they're in this movie. There's a scene where
yeah, for a second, that's going to be Bruce Campbell's cameo.
I don't know the way how they're unless they're really trying to sell the shit out of these cameos.
I've read the Marvel. I know the What If episode. I know the What If comics, and I've read all of the Marvel.
No, I'm talking about Doctor Strange. I'm thinking like
I know.
It's like everyone's saying like, oh, because it's a multiverse, it's gonna be these like one-off like 5-second cameo. I think they're really gonna do this whole. I think it's gonna be a zombie thing. I think there's gonna be
There's a big issue with the zombie thing. They can try all they want. The zombies included everybody. We don't have everybody.
Well, they can use what they have.
I think it's a limited pool. There's certain things you can get away with the zombies and everything. I mean, we're not going to have the blob eating. We're not going to have the blob eating wasps. Spoiler alert! In the comics, the blob actually eats the wasp, which causes Ant-Man to grow gigantic and bite off his head.
Yeah,
I personally think the zombie stuff. I think that's where we're going to get Bruce Campbell as Ash. That's where that's a direct like to the comics. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm curious how much we're going to see of each universe here and what they're going to do. I said the last episode, my biggest fear with the movie is they're going to make it where if you didn't watch the Disney Plus series, you're left in the dark, which I think is a mistake. And I think obviously you've lied to us. You told us that was not from the get-go. You said that's not the case, and you lied. Just tell us you lied. It's fine. I'm excited for the movie, and I will definitely see it. And I trust Sam Raimi with my heart and soul on any project he does. So,
well, the only one-off that is pretty much a given now, because his voice was in the trailer, was Patrick Stewart's Professor X. Well, allegedly it's Professor X, but you heard Patrick Stewart, and people were like, "Okay, let's put 2 and 2 together." That scene where Doctor Strange's in front of this council, Illuminati. If you read the comic books, the Illuminati consists
also happy the Illuminati are coming in.
Well, and this is where I'm intrigued to see who's going to be on the council. Clearly, it's Patrick Stewart because of Professor X. But then you have, in the comic books, you have Black Bolt, you have Namor, you have Iron Man. Who else am I missing? You have Professor X. Oh, Reed Richards.
I don't think we're going to see Reed. I think we're going to see this. To me, if anything else, this is an easy introduction to the X-Men existing. Besides Monica Rambeau, who already we have, this is a way to bring them in. But again, all of that starts to skew we've seen Captain Britain's shield in the trailer. We've seen all sorts of things that it just skews to. That's my biggest fear, is that if I haven't watched the Disney Plus series, I'm going to be lost here. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you're going to, because it's going to be one of those things where, okay, let's say if Peggy Carter,
see Shima Gorath.
Let's just say that Peggy Carter's in this movie. I think for someone who hasn't seen What If, would be surprised to see Haley Atwell reprise the role.
But the problem is it's not going to make as much sense. That's the issue. It will make sense to everybody else. It's not going to make sense. You're going to start doing things. Frankly, from the first trailer they showed, the moment Doctor Strange walks up to Scarlet Witch, I whatever you want to call her at this point, Wanda, we walks up, we're not here to talk about Westview. If I haven't watched the show, I go, what the heck is Westview?
Okay, I see.
That's the kind of stuff I think we're gonna, with them having everything in those cracks. That's and even Marvel Zombies. Well, why are there zombies on the screen? If you watch What If, it makes sense. If you know the comics, it makes sense. That's what I'm worried about, is that it's not going to make sense.
It will make sense, Verse.
I'm sure they're going to explain it that it makes sense, but I'm afraid it's not going to make as much sense to everybody else's heads, because I truly believe this is it. I think this is how we're introducing it. This is with Monica and Professor X. This is the moment that X-Men are coming in. Get ready.
And I think Fantastic Four, too, because they even teased during the whole Marvel Phase 4 the Fantastic Four logo. I think we're going to get a Reed Richards on the council.
I'm fine with having Reed Richards because...
all a Fantastic Four dude in the trailer.
I don't really care with Fantastic Four. I'm just waiting to see the mask and the cape. I know we'll see it eventually. I'm patient. I can wait. That's
Dr.
what I'm
Doom.
waiting for. We're going to... Oh, he's coming. Doom is coming.
Victor Doom.
Victor Von Doom is coming. I'm patient. I can't wait. The one thing I really hope for from this movie is a lot more Baron Mordo. As I know we don't know who our central villain's going to be, and there's a lot of rumors. I do hope after the end of Doctor Strange, I really hope we don't have more Baron Mordo as more just like a one-off. I really hope he's something big in this.
Well, he kind of was big at the end of the first one when he killed off the...
Yeah, I know he's big at the end of the first one. I'm talking in this sequel. There's been a lot of rumors that he's actually not as heavily involved as others may think he is. I hope that's just rumor. I love the actress they cast as him. Actor. Sorry, misspoke there. I love the actor. I love the actor. I really, really, really like Baron Mordo as a villain. I just really hope to see more of him. I hate to say it, but I'm more into villains than I am the heroes, only because a hero's only as good as the villain they're fighting. And that's why the Fantastic Four are so popular, is because when you're fighting Victor Von Doom, who can argue?
But what I will say is somewhere, I think in the right after credits scene, you're going to get them re-entering that Illuminati room. And there's going to be people up there, but it's not going to be the Illuminati. It's going to be the Council of Kang.
Oh. Yeah.
I am okay with that. We know Kang is in Quantumania. I am more than happy with Kang being here. I love who they cast as Kang. I love seeing Kang. I love everything about Kang existing.
Or the Illuminati's the after credits scene, and the scene we saw in the trailer is red herring for the Council of Kang.
We know Kang is the upcoming big bad. We all know that. It's been a known thing for a while now. We know, Morbius is back for Loki season 2.
Here's another idea too, because there's something else that's coming down the pipes. Post-credit scene shows the council, same council, like we see the same actors from earlier, but they all turn into Skrulls for the Secret War.
Maybe.
Here's one problem with that. One big issue with that. Again, it goes back to what I said before. Now I have to have watched the movies. That's the issue here. Do I need to see the movies, or do I need to see the TV show, or is it both? That's the issue, is that they told us we wouldn't have to. What do we have to do? That's my issue here. Is that I get that, but Secret Wars is a strictly Disney Plus idea. We've had other things in the movies with Skrulls, and they're going to be involved, I'm sure. But that's the issue here with me, is what are we doing here? Are we setting up the TV series, or are we setting up more movies?
I think they're intertwining them, because there was an interview that I just read.
But we were told that wasn't. If they are, that they should tell us now, because we were promised that wasn't going to be the case. I'm sure we are, because we have She-Hulk, Kamala Khan, we have Moon Knight. I
think what happened was how much money Disney made off of Disney Plus. Like, they had these ideas in the past to do these limited run series, but then of how many subscribers signed up for Disney Plus and saw that there were these popular shows on there. Like, people are drawn to Loki, people are drawn to Falcon Winter Soldier, people are drawn to WandaVision. You know,
I hear you.
And with the movies slowly coming back, but not fully there, they kind of are in this hybrid of like, where do we go? Not to mention Kevin Feige came out and just said, we're not doing another Avengers movie, like the Avengers.
Yeah, because we're doing the Young Avengers.
Right, which will probably be on Disney Plus because more people are signing up like day and day and day for Disney Plus.
I think Young Avengers is going to be a main title thing, but again, I'm fine with that. But they need to tell people. That's my problem. The issue is one, too many shows start to potentially burst the bubble is starting to grow. The Eternals, to me, a potential to burst the bubble is higher than ever. But two, if people start to feel lied to, they're going to turn away.
Right.
Not to bring up Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts. We've heard me yell about this before. Not to bring that up, I felt lied to. I'm immediately turned off by it. If I feel lied to by Marvel, I'm immediately going to be turned off. Oh, like Star Wars. Whoa, 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 with me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I have to watch how many shows? I ain't doing that. I have to watch all of... Whoa, whoa. I have to watch the movies, TV series, and these movies? I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, that is the downside with, like, these live-action shows now for Star Wars. It's like, yeah, it's cool to see Ahsoka or, like, Cad Bane, all these characters, but it's like, if you haven't watched...
Ahsoka was so... Seeing her live action, Rosario Dawson did such a good job. And, what's her face?
Rosario Dawson as...
No, it was not Rosario Dawson, the other one. Help me with the name here. The one from Rebels.
It
was the one with.
You're talking about the bounty, the other Mandalorian, the girl.
Yeah, the other Mandalorian. She was from Rebels. Ahsoka was from Clone Wars. Seeing them live action, Rosario Dawson did great, and the one from Rebels just playing the voice actress. Genius.
And that was just. I know it's crazy. They actually had the voice actors play the same.
Yeah, I thought genius. Which was that's the kind of stuff I like. But again, it starts to, as much as I'm excited for She-Hulk, Moon Knight, I'm sure I'm going to enjoy. She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel, I'm really excited for. Those are characters I like. Jersey Pride, baby.
And see, here's the thing. So with Ms. Marvel, she actually debuts in Doctor Strange in the multiverse. Yeah.
She's in multiverse? Yeah. See? They lied. Those jerks. Feige lied. Phage lied to us. Come on.
It's like, from what I've been reading and hearing, it's her and Doctor Strange team up in this movie.
Boo! I hate being lied to.
Yeah. Kamala Khan, this is where she makes her starring debut, is in Doctor Strange.
Boo.
In the Multiverse of Madness, because that was the one thing I was like, wait, I thought Miss I'm like, oh, there's the connection. She starts in Doctor Strange.
Love Kamala Khan. Boo! Don't lie to me.
I think we are still complicating the fact that what Feige meant was you can watch the movies, you can enjoy the movies.
Yeah.
You will still enjoy them. Will you get the Max thing? No. But guess what? That's how it's always been with all this.
It's less about the movies and more about the TV shows to me.
But it's the same thing.
It's like comic books, dude. Think of it like comic book issues.
Also,
like
nobody.
He flat out said you can watch one, you can watch the other. You don't have to have both of the enjoyment. I know what you're saying, but it sounds to me like you're gonna have to watch both to really get the maximum enjoyment.
You won't, because most people aren't looking at it as in depth as we are. That's the thing. A lot of people aren't looking at it in depth. They aren't looking at the deeper meaning in Loki. They're not looking.
Let me ask you
about the deeper meaning, but again, the fact that in the trailer, if I have never seen this in the trailer of it, I'm not talking about the events of Westview. Well, what the fuck are Westview?
Let me ask you this: Spider-Man: No Way Home. Are you telling me that film can't be a standalone Spider-Man movie? That you actually have to watch all Tobey Maguire films, all of the
yes. Having Dr. Octopus there means nothing. People could probably enjoy it, but to an extent, they're going to be going, well, who's this? Well, he's from a different universe. Well, who is he?
But they explained it in the movie. That's what I'm saying. Like, as a standalone film, No Way Home holds up as a film. You don't have to watch.
No Way Home doesn't hold up as a standalone film. It's the end of a trilogy.
Well, okay.
That's what I'm getting at.
All right, in the Tom Holland trilogy, it works. You don't have to see 5 other Spider-Man films to know what's going on in this movie. You just have to watch No Way or Far From Home, the movie before.
After credit scene, who the heck is Venom? That's
After
the kind of stuff.
Don't count.
What?
You can't really base it off the after credit scene. Like they just.
They're gonna see it. I don't see how. I personally don't get how that doesn't count. It all counts.
So one post-credit scene that no one's touched base on was it was one of the X-Men films. It was it Days of Future Past? Was it Apocalypse?
Ugh,
one of them had a post-credit scene with essentially Sinestro's company with vials of mutant DNA. That was the last we saw of that.
Yeah, terrible.
Never read Captain Marvel. Infinity Wars after credit scene means nothing to me. Like, it's always been that way. There's always been other...
I see what you mean about that, but more to my point, I get what you're saying. I do. I get it. But that's the little stuff that's going to burst the bubble. That you're going to have people that are going to feel. I get what you're saying. I truly do get that. But you told us we didn't have to, and I know what you mean. Well, you're twisting his words. I get that. That's fine. The bubble will be burst at some point. When does it happen?
We all know that's going to happen. It's always been going to happen. It's just what doesn't.
I think this one could do it.
No.
I hope not.
I think this is still going to be too good of a film to do it.
Yeah.
I trust Sam Raimi at the helm. I'm just saying, I'm not saying what I believe. I'm just saying this is what I can see happening. Because they're trying to combine everything into one, like you said, and I have no problem with that. But it's the way you originally said it. Well, you're not going to really have to. Anything that happens in the shows happens in the shows. Anything in the movies happens in the movies. The fact that we have already mentioned a show in the movie trailer, right there to me says that you have to watch them both.
No, it doesn't. Because we have already tried this more or less 2 separate universes existing in the same universe. And it's doesn't really work or make sense.
I'm not saying it, and I'm not arguing with you. I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. I'm going off of what the man said.
And you have to think, the people that are actually going to be looking for these more in-depth things that you're going to get from seeing both of them, they're the people that were already going to watch both of them.
Probably.
Right.
The people who are just watching the movies, they're not looking for this stuff. And it's going to be fine because they're not going to know there's more they're missing.
But we're at the point where there's so many movies.
See, and I'm kind of on the spectrum of going in and being surprised of what I wasn't expecting to see that I remembered from my past watching those films. Or
I'd rather be surprised. I don't want to know the spoilers that have been out there. I'd rather be completely surprised by everything.
Like, frankly, I just want, like, Deadpool to walk across the screen like Bigfoot going hi, and just like a random shot of Deadpool just out of nowhere.
I just want Deadpool to be in every single movie and thing they do. TV doesn't matter. I think Ryan Reynolds should contractually appear in everything they do.
A Deadpool cameo should replace the Stan Lee cameo.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely.
He fits.
Yeah, that would.
Especially with multiverse, with them opening up X-Men, he fits 100%. I agree.
Well,
Deadpool cameos fit 100%.
And I just want, and the scene that I want to have happen, I don't think Disney will allow it, but you never know. I want something where like Strange is fighting someone or something or himself, like at the whatever, and they jump through these like quick like multiverse like portals, just like jumping through for the special effects. and then one comes across a bathroom where Deadpool's like taking the shit. It's just like they're on the crapper and they're just like fighting. Just like walks
Either
by.
he's taking a shit or he's making chimichangas. Something very Deadpool.
Or he's got the little hand.
He's sitting there. He is ignoring everything that's going on around him as this whole battle's going on. You see him quickly just pull out a gun, blindly shoot a zombie or something, and it just keeps going. Like
something that exactly. I'm with you on all accounts because something strictly Deadpool. Again, the only reason it has to be something. Taking a crap could work in the restroom. Jacking off doesn't really.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that'd be hysterical. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with those. Are just a psh, cool.
You do it more. You flash back to like a scene from Deadpool 1. They're in a big fight, and all of a sudden these other guys fight in, and you just hear him go, I forget the director's name. Hey! They're not supposed to be here!
Oh!
Exactly. Break the fourth wall. Exactly.
That would be. They would bring in the director of Deadpool, Tim something. I forget. Oh, yeah, I know you're talking. Do like oh my God, that'd be I like that.
I cannot work under these. I'm out. I can't work under these conditions. I'm cool with all of that. I'm cool with anything they want to do. Again, I'm not. I just am worried that they're gonna start. I agree with you, Dozer. I know what you mean. I'm with you. I hear you. I just personally believe that's the stuff that's going to lead to the demise.
It is, but to also a degree, if you are going to have the TV shows be anything more than these street-level heroes and villains, yeah, there needs to be explanations, or they need to be there. Like, if you have super-powered people, and all of a sudden New York is under attack, we need to know why they're not there.
Yeah,
right.
I like what they've been doing. I'm just kind of curious how we're going to go forward. I do believe, like, certain things. I truly believe we're going to see Jessica Jones, and I said this at the get-go. Jessica Jones is going to be in She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah.
Think of it this way. This is how I view it. You are not going to need to know each universe, but they are going to be on these moving lines. That yes, occasionally they are going to come very close to intersecting, but then they're going to gap again, and it's just going, especially in something like the Multiverse of Madness.
The Multiverse of Madness, I take a lot of that as a grain of salt.
Yeah, I would be more concerned if this is a going concern and I'm going to make up a movie. Or, no, I'm not going to make up a movie. If this is a going concern in Black Panther 2.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I need to know the backstory of Loki and every other one. That's where it's going to be a concern. Multiverse of Madness, I am fairly certain they're doing a good job of establishing anything can fucking happen.
Right.
I don't disagree with you. Well, first off, let's be honest. Black Panther 2 is literally Black Panther 2, The Search for a Black Panther. It's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's literally what the plot is. Like, from what I've read, I'm like, okay, so we're looking for Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, don't get me wrong.
Look, I picked on a movie. I was initially going to say Captain America 4. Like...
well, that's a whole other set of... Again, we already know the plot is Sam has to earn the right.
I was going to say, for a Captain America 4 movie, I know that's the plot, but I want to see... it's crazy, but I want to see the movie where Steve Rogers has to return the Infinity Stones back where they came from. And the idea that he has to, like, go back and, like, confront Red Skull.
He has to return a stone that didn't exist, really.
Yeah.
He has to somehow take a stone and turn it back into an ether. Into a liquid and get it in someone's blood. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, excuse me, madam, but I have to inject this thing.
I am 100% under the belief that we are going to follow the comics here. Not the comic, where I want to. That we are going to see Steve Rogers, Chris Evans and Steve Rogers again. This is a comic storyline. We will see it again. He is not done. It's happened in the comics. I would personally love Steve Rogers to be the head of Hydra if it's in the comics, but the sleeper cell agent is hard.
It's the multiverse of madness. Anything can happen.
Endgame was enough.
Yeah.
No, the multiverse of madness, I want Spider-Man to be taken over by Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
There's been heavy rumors that Tom Cruise is Iron Man.
That would be, but see, that's one of those things. Like, that's a joke that you're only getting if you have the full details that, yeah, that's who they wanted originally.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like in a completely different universe, in the new Halo TV series, Dr. Halsey and Cortana are different people, and Dr. Halsey is British and Cortana isn't, and that's how they wanted it in the initial game.
Yes.
Right.
That I agree. It's a deep cut. Listen,
you're not going to know it unless you know
the
casting history of a movie.
Right.
I'm still a little perturbed that we're going to see Master Chief's face.
I am not, because that was always going to happen in
the game.
No, never happened.
Really? Really?
It's always going to happen in a filmed media.
Oh no, I'm not perturbed with seeing his face. I'm perturbed that I want something more to go off of. I want to know what he's going to look like ahead of time so I can prepare, because I have an idea of what Master Chief looks like, and he's not going to be that.
Well, here's the problem. Like, people, we're going to see his face. We're going to see his face. There's already media of where we see his face, because they already did a movie based off of Bleach. Where he
I know, but with this, I'm like, I have an idea of what I think he's going to look like. I just don't think he's going to look like that.
Well, the actor whose name is Pablo, he's a lot more Hispanic than you expected.
Oh no, that's actually what I'm expecting, but I'm expecting more scars on his face. That I think is what we're going to get.
I will say, because they're going to do this, and there have been several interpretations of the Master Chief written out. If he is any tanner than Sheamus, they've done it wrong. Purely because this man has lived in his suit for years. It's the same problem with The Mandalorian, but we can look past it because it's a different universe.
Yeah, and just when they said we're going to see him with his helmet, I'm like, can we at least get a description of what they want to do here? Just because, like, I have an idea in my head of what I've seen him in the Rich movie. I have an idea in my head of what I'm expecting, but I'm like, I just want to just be more prepared. That's all.
The books write him out, and it's not what we're going to get in the series, but the books write him out to be a shockingly much older than you expect.
Right.
Very pale, almost fragile-looking man.
See, that doesn't surprise me. I'm expecting maybe some facial scars. I'm just curious of what they want this Master Chief to look like. That's what they said that. I'm like, but what is this Master Chief going to look like?
What has me concerned is we have an actor named Pablo playing him. And I've seen Pablo. He's, he has beautiful facial hair, beautiful black hair. And the other mediums where they have portrayed Master Chief's face, he's blonde hair, blue eye, he's the quintessential.
That unfortunately is colorblind casting right there. We have no.
I'm just saying what they've portrayed him as, and I'm not.
No, I agree. I'm with you.
From a fucking planet we've never heard of.
And I honestly, it was more. I was surprised they're doing this as a season 1 thing. I thought for sure that'd be a season. Once they season 2, I'm like, they're not going to show his face in season 1. That's a season 2.
So here's the cliffhanger you're going to have, and I do agree, it's a season 2 reveal or it's an end of season 1 reveal, like Mandalorian. But you have the issue that he is going to be with other Spartans,
who
are inevitably going to take their helmets off.
Yes.
Right.
And when you have everyone else there with their helmets off and him sitting there with his helmet on, it will just look wrong.
Weird. Yes.
It doesn't look wrong in the game when you are through his eyes, because you're not seeing this visual of him with his helmet on.
There's been plenty of video game characters. We never quite see our face.
Yeah, but in...
Listen, this won't be the worst video game adaptation to do that this year. I'm sorry. I liked the movie. That was not Leon. That was not Leon in Resident Evil at all from what we knew.
I have not watched a Resident Evil movie since the first 3.
This one's actually worth watching. This one, again, it's very grounded in the mythos of the games. It does its own thing, but it does it very well. It's just one of those, I've played as Leon enough to know that's not what I'm expecting.
So, much like Five Nights at Freddy's, Resident Evil is firmly a game that I know the lore from watching lore videos and history videos. I'm never playing the game. I tried to play Resident Evil 2. Like, that's just not my style of play. I can't stand this ammo management shit. No, that's not...
Well, they're survival games. That's why when they announced the sequel would probably include Village, I'm like, so first off, Demon Baby from Hell, got it, that's in the game. That's in the movie, thanks, I already know what's going on there. If you never played Resident Evil Village, House Beneviento, they try to convince you that your child is the devil, and there's a demon baby from hell that if it catches you, eats you.
If you've ever had a 3-year-old, this is not a stretch.
It's not, but like, ugh. I'm like, someone had to animate that. Someone's job was to make that a thing. It's funny. It's the most horror level of the game for the most part until the later Heisenberg level. But you're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, okay, it's kind of creepy. Not much is going on. Oh God, something's about to come, and then the demon baby appears, and you're like, well, that just kicked up a freaking notch. I'm gonna have nightmares over that thing for a week.
But I say this from the bottom of my heart.
We've gone on too long.
Yeah.
I have bored you all long enough. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
How's that Jim Beam holding up?
This is just always in the cup, this red liquid, so don't take that as a marker.
Yeah. And on that incredible bombshell, we're the idiots, so you don't have to be. Down there, we have Brian. Over there, we have Bruce.
Love you all!
And, we'll see you next time here on the Disney podcast.
You're not going to want to miss next week.